Sorry, mate. We'll start in a sec. Just need to... Wow. Wow, that looks really good. It's just the way that... the light and everything. Yeah, right. Sorry. Yeah, can you introduce yourself to the camera, please?
Sure. My name is Matt Jones. I'm 20.
Oh, it did to me.
Sure. My name is Matt Jones. I'm 26, and I believe in the men in white.
Matt's always been a good mate of mine, but he's never told me about this belief of his before. Can I really have called him my friend after all this time without knowing?
Did I ever tell you guys about my religion? About the snowmen? There isn't really one name for them, but my mum always called them the men in white. She says snowmen can come across as a bit insulting. Snowmen are the idols we build in their image.
Are you recording this right now? You're not going to put some weird special effect to make me look strange, are you?
Really, you look absolutely fine. We aren't adding special effects to anything.
All right, but I look okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, oh, just one moment.
Right. So, about Matt.
Oh, right. Oh, yes, he's a wonderful kid. An absolute wonderful kid. Hardly any rude words at all. And always helps around the house.
So, you never had any trouble raising him on your own?
Oh, no, not one bit of it. He's an absolute angel.
You'd have thought it'd been harder, growing up as a kid like that, in that kind of family.
Wait a minute. He's not around, is he?
Sorry?
He's not going to hear any of this.
Well, he's not here today.
Well then, to tell you the absolute truth, he's a little shit.
How did you find out about the men in white?
It was my mum. She told me about them when I was really young. Yeah, I can't remember exactly when, but I remember she told me all the science behind it. Like when we look for life on other planets, we look for water. The human body is made up of mostly water. The planet's surface, it's 2/3 water, so it made sense that outer space is the perfect environment for beings made of ice.
The science is all there. I'm not one for religion, but he makes a good case for the men in white's existence. It's their morality that strikes me. They encourage the preservation of a happy and fulfilled life, and to pass this happiness on to others only brings greater pleasure to yourself. It feels like an offshoot of other larger religions.
It all started when he was around 2, when he started talking. Oh, he loved talking, in that sweet little voice of his. And then he learned how to sound as if he were in pain. And I used to run to him, worried that something had dropped on him. And he'd be sitting there, on his bottom, wailing like nobody's business, until I gave him what he wanted. And then one day, when his father was still with us, he came into our room, clutching his chest and saying, "Mummy, my heart really hurts." Well, I ran to phone for an ambulance, petrified out of my mind. And he was sitting there, puffing his chubby little face, clutching his chubby little heart, and I could barely tell the emergency services what the matter was. I was so scared. 5 minutes later, the ambulance arrives, the paramedics are through the door, and he's sitting there, calm as you like, as they're checking his heart and taking his blood pressure and his temperature. And I'm standing there, sweating like a rainforest to see if he's okay. And then, finally, the paramedics say they think he's fine. So I crouched down and I asked him, "How are you feeling?" And he said, "I feel fine." And then his father picks him up and asks him if his heart is hurting. And in the very same tone he goes, "No." Little shite.
As a child, Matt was told he should emulate the men in white as a symbol of innocence and joy. It seems that praising qualities like these rewards believers with good health and brings them one step closer to being like the men in white.
Yeah, I remember having to wear a lot of embarrassing things. The snowflake necklace, for one. Yeah, it wasn't exactly the most subtle thing to wear, especially in the middle of summer. But I knew it was for the men in white, and I was proud to wear it for them.
So you used to get bullied quite a lot?
No, I wouldn't call it bullied. More challenged. People would ask me why I was wearing such ridiculous things to school, and I'd have to tell them it was for my religion.
That was the deal I had to make so they would allow him to wear that thing to school. Religious reasons. I can't believe they allowed it. Have you seen that thing?
I mean, yeah, my beliefs will be challenged every single day by people who they don't know what to believe in. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't turn out like them. You know, in a way, it's a relief, you know, to have the men in white, you know, to fall back on me whenever I'm just, you know, going through a rough patch.
Would you say that the men in white acted as a surrogate father to Matt after his real father passed away?
Well, it certainly helped a lot. It meant I could get on with things in my own time rather than having to deal with him constantly. He matured quickly.
I definitely see the men in white saw the men in white as a second parental figure. Yeah, I don't have a lot of memories of my dad. You know, I knew he's really smart, like my mum. I knew that he loved me, but I don't have many memories of him. So, in a way, I'm glad to have the men in white to take care of me.
Matt was telling me how much science was behind the men in white.
Oh, well, he never got a chance to know his father, but I think he's inherited his father's love of science. You know, when we watched that Darren Brown or some such show, he'd always explain how the trick was done. And then that other show, Breaking the Magician's Code, where they showed the trick and then they explain how it's done. Well, he'd always tell me how it's done before the show did. He's such a bright boy.
He also said that you were the one who introduced him to it, that he's been following the same routines ever since.
Still, he's still doing that with the and the shrine. He's not. You can know.
Everyone knows what a snowman is. Everyone knows how to build one. And pretty much everyone does build one when the snow comes around. It's almost like we all know about the men in white, but don't realize it.
Yeah, I ended up doing a lot of things that most people would see as odd. Yeah, that onesie, it was absolutely criminal. But, you know, if I hadn't done those things for them, then I wouldn't be cared for by them like I am now.
So you never felt like it was pushed onto you?
Oh, no, God, no. I mean, religion, it generally asks you to abandon reason, to feel rather than to think, and beliefs in God, it comes from the heart rather than, and so, but the men in white, it's got a more of a logical basis. I mean, it's got like a scientific foundation, but I believe in them with my heart because they look after us now. They're protecting. Like, we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for them.
Matt sees snowball fights as sinful because he feels using the men in white's flesh to fight goes against their teachings of peace and tranquility between man and nature.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say it's nonsense, it's nothing, it's a fake!
But he believes so strongly in it. He's been following the philosophies his whole life.
What? Well, aren't all religions made up by someone? So I made a little fun of the boy, but he's fine now.
You don't feel any regret, do you?
What? That I made him wear that onesie? I have no regrets. I mean, he's a bright boy, but he's a tad thick if he's still believing in that.
Yeah, I expect anyone else to feel betrayed by something like this, but I feel okay.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't lying when I said how much the Men in White had impacted my life. I mean, if it hadn't been for them, I wouldn't strive to be as caring and compassionate as they are. I mean, I don't believe in them because I have to, but because I choose to.
You aren't mad or anything?
Why should I be? I could have stopped believing in them at any time, but I didn't want to. And what I believe is mine alone. I mean, I may not wear that pendant anymore. I may not wear the onesie. But it gives me something to believe in that's whenever I need it. And the main reason why I agreed to do this film with you guys is because I want you to know it's not about what you believe in, even if you don't believe in anything at all. It's your chosen belief. I mean, I'll respect whatever you choose to believe in. It's how you act as a person based on those beliefs. I mean, I believe in the Men in White wholeheartedly. But I'm not asking you to do the same. I'm asking you to respect my beliefs as my own. I mean, decency doesn't need a belief, does it?